Anthony Bourdain had the greatest job that show business ever produced. This flew around the world and ate delicious meals with outstanding people. That man, with that job, hung himself in a luxury suite in France. I knew a nigga in high school that was an urban genius. This motherfucker's grades were so good, he got all the way from the hood to an Ivy League school with a full scholarship. Motherfucker got himself into one of the best law schools in the country. And when he was in law school, met a woman, fell in love, gonna get married. I remember him telling me about it. He was home for Christmas. And I told him, I said, my man, save that bitch for later in your life. But he's in love. He didn't listen to me. He married her while he was in law school. And sadly, they got divorced. He was a street nigga from the hood. This man had nothing. And that bitch took half of that. And then I just never saw him again for years. And then 2 years ago, I was home in D.C. doing some shopping, trying to buy my sons some socks at Foot Locker. I go to Foot Locker. Guess who's the manager? That nigga. Dressed like a referee, the whole shit. This motherfucker is 45 years old. We went out drinking that night just trying to catch up. And he told me, he said he's been living with his mother for like 10 years, just trying to get back on his feet. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is, never occurred to this nigga to kill himself. He's alive and well in D.C. I even suggested to him that he should try it out. Like, I don't know, nigga, like that. I will tell you that this was not a joke. It's a true story. What happened was, I went to a gallery party, all right? And there was a few eccentric types, one of which was a very wealthy man that happened to be wearing a dress. Definitely a man. And this man was definitely on drugs. I don't know what kind of drugs he was on, but I knew he had too much. He didn't look good. It's like this. He's like, he looked sick. And all his friends were standing around him, concerned, trying to revive him. I don't know whether it looked like some kind of gay CPR, just fanning and shit. I should have minded my own business, but I got curious. And I went over there. All I said, excuse me, gentlemen, is he okay? And then they looked at me like I was evil. Oh. She is fine. Well, there was no time for a philosophical debate. This was an emergency situation. I said, fine. Sorry, guys. I was just worried because she looks terrible. And she just fell off the bench. Appears that her dick is popping out of her dress. But you know what I like about San Fran, and the reason I picked this city to do my special is because of all the major cities in America, somehow people get along here better than anywhere else I've seen in the country. That's right. That's right. And I always admired San Fran for that. And today I realized how you did it. Put all the niggas on the other side of that bridge. There's nothing, this shit ain't happy on that side. You leave San Francisco like, bye, thanks for coming to San Francisco. Come back in April, we're having a sale on Birkenstocks. As soon as you get to the other side, welcome to Oakland, bitch. Click, click. You know, that's just my grandmother used to sing that when she cleaning up. That's a Negro spiritual. Black work song. Not everybody know about that. I know. See, white people, you guys might whistle when you work. You dig? But that's how you can tell what kind of work we're actually doing. I study that kind of shit. I do. Anything that has to do with race. I read a little here, see a little there. And I travel. That's always good. Traveling has made me a racism connoisseur, if you will. You know, it's different from region to region. Anyone ever been down south? So you guys know what I'm talking about. Now, the racism down there is just fucking, it's perfect. It's due to a perfection. It's comfortable, it's out in the open. There are no secrets in Mississippi. Everybody knows the deal. Morning, nigger. Morning, sir. I got a lot of things to talk about tonight. First of all, I've stopped smoking weed. With black people, you didn't let me finish, motherfuckers. God damn. I'm sorry, black people, to break the news so publicly, but I can't smoke with you anymore. Every time I smoke weed with my black friends, all you talk about is your trials and tribulations. I'm sick of that shit. I got my own problems. Nigga, that's a waste of weed. I'm smoking weed to run away from my problems, not take on yours. From now on, I smoke weed exclusively with white people. Calm down, motherfuckers. You win by default. You got good weed conversation. All white people talk about when they get high is other times that they got high. I can listen to that shit all night. Dude, remember at Frank's last week? It's fucking smashed, man. And catalogs everything they drink. 2 shots of Jaeger, tequila, 4 bong hits, man, beer, cheeseburger. That shit is great. Only bad part is you cannot pass out around white people. Every time white dudes pass out around each other, they always do some borderline gay shit when the guy's asleep. Frank fell asleep, so we stuck a carrot in his ass and put shaving cream on his balls. Why, motherfucker? Why would you do that to a friend of yours? He trusted you enough to sleep around you. You gonna put a carrot in his ass? Is that nice? I tell you right now, if I put a carrot in a black dude's ass, a nigga will kill you when he wakes up for some shit like that. That is an automatic death sentence on the street. It's a rap for you. I'm gonna kill that motherfucker. I thought y'all was friends, baby. What happened? I fell asleep at his house, right? We was drinking, and I fell asleep at his house, and while I was sleeping, right? I'm just gonna kill that motherfucker, all right? That's all you need to know. And fuck carrots.
Not up here. You hit the big cities, man. It's different. It's always a secret. And we should do like them. We should keep our shit out in the open, then a little. I mean, with limits. You don't want to say whatever comes to your mind. That might be a little much. White dude be walking down the street minding his business, and the brother walk up to him, hello, you white oppressor, you slave master rapist of Africa. Why, hello, my big lip spear chucking friend. Touche, hunky. So, Whitey, what did you do today, huh? Oppress a new land and make the people there Christians against their will? What did you do, fella? Burn those big black lips on a crack pipe as you missed your job interview? Easy, Whitey, you're cutting deep. All this chit-chat has got me thirsty. If you will excuse me for a moment, I'm going to go to the Korean store and get something to drink. Hello. You slanted-eyed, ruining the economy in our neighborhood by opening stores and taking the money out the community. Chink. Wow. Good afternoon, you browse around but never buy anything. Suspicious looking nigga. After a while, that might be too much.
One of my first white friends, in my life, man. He's a good dude, too. He moved to Silver Spring from Utah, of all places. I guess his family was affiliated with that Mormon church they got down there. And me and him used to hang out. And one day I was at his house, we were just hanging out, and Timmy says, Dave, why don't you stay for dinner tonight? I said, oh, man, I'd love to, but I can't. If I'm not home before dark, my mother will kill me. That was a lie. My mother had several jobs. I hadn't seen her in 3 or 4 days. And the only reason I lied to Timmy was because at that point in my life, it was my experience that white dinner wasn't delicious. I'd rather go home and fry some bologna or some shit like that. But then old Timmy threw me a curveball I wasn't expecting. He said, it's too bad you can't stay, Dave, because Mom made stovetop stuffing. I said, what the fuck, stovetop? Well, hold on, nigga. Let me make some phone calls real quick. I had seen that commercial so many times. I had dreamt of getting my hands on some of that stovetop stuffing. And finally, I met a motherfucker that actually had a box of stovetop in the house. I couldn't miss this opportunity, so I pretended to call my mother. And then I came back and I said, Timmy, you're not gonna believe this great news. Mom said I can stay. And he said, fantastic. He said, why don't you come with me and we'll help set the table and then we can say the blessing. I had no interest in setting this motherfucker's table or saying these crazy ass Mormon prayers. I just wanted that goddamn stuffing. So I told Timmy, I said, you know what? I'd love to help, but let me go wash my hands first. My plan was simple. Wash my hands slowly, and by the time I'm done, the table will be set, the blessing will be said, and all that there will be left to do is eat. Went to the bathroom. I washed my hands very slowly. I must have been in there for about 10 minutes. And suddenly, one of his mothers came to the door. She was like, hi, David, right? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, Timmy tells me that you're planning on staying for dinner. I said, I hope that's not a problem, ma'am. She says, no, it's no problem. In fact, we'd love to have you. It's just that we weren't expecting company. And I'm afraid there's not enough stovetop stuffing for everybody. So I kicked her in the... Bam! Ladies and gentlemen, I told you I'm dope, nigga. I told you what I was gonna say and you still didn't see it coming. And that's why I make the big bucks.
People only see the surface. They see the division in our foods. Just because I eat chicken and watermelon, they think that that's something wrong with me. Let me tell you something. If you don't like chicken or watermelon, something is wrong with you, motherfucker. There's something wrong with you. Where are all these people that don't like chicken and watermelon? I'm sick of hearing about how bad it is. It's great. I'm waiting for chicken to approach me to do a commercial, nigga. I'll do it for free, chicken. It's the least I can do. They make fun of Latin people for eating, what y'all eat? Beans, rice, corn. Listen, that's not a reason to hate a motherfucker, all right? It's funny, but it's not a reason to hate. The only reason these things are even an issue is because nobody knows what white people eat. You've been very good at keeping that shit a secret amongst yourselves. I study white people. You don't know that. I'm writing a paper on you. Not even for school, nigga, just to do it, just to get, I'm just doing independent research. I'm spending my money, that's why I'm working so hard. I follow you around grocery stores. They freak out. I just try to peek in the cart. They always say, get away from my cart, nigga. What are you looking at? Chicken and giblets are over there. You must be lost. These are vegetables. I know what you drink. See how quiet it got? Grape juice. Surprise, motherfuckers, you didn't know I knew about grape juice, did you? Oh, don't play dumb with me. Look at what is it? A lot of black people don't have the privilege of knowing about grape juice because they have grape drink. It's not the same formula that you get. Ain't no vitamins in that shit. You might have one of your black friends over, Todd. Todd, would you care for a glass of grape juice? What? Nigga, what the fuck is juice? I want some grape drink, baby. It's purple. I don't think I know what a grape drink is. What? I have some apple juice if you want. What the fuck is juice? I want some apple drink. Scream. Remember that commercial for Sunny Delight when all the kids run in from outside playing and they all run to the fridge? All right, I got some purple stuff, some Sunny D. As soon as you say Sunny
Boy. Yeah, tough time for the blacks. I'm not gonna say nothing about the police. I'll leave that for Chris Rock. The other big sports story was fucking Ray Rice's tape. Anyone see that Ray Rice tape? I can't stop watching it. It's fucking awful. It's the most violent thing I've seen happen to a woman that was shot in color. Really fucking bad. Like, if I could have froze time at that moment and gave Ray Rice some advice, I don't think there's any way possible I'd be like, you should punch her in the face. It's a fucking terrible idea. At the same time, I also believe she shouldn't have rushed him. What the fuck was he like? Yo, you can't beat him, miss. Don't rush a motherfucker that's trained to stiff on people in the clutch. He's gonna get the upper hand. The only reason I bring him up is because, you know, he's about to play football again. You didn't know that? The NFL was told by a federal judge they had to reinstate Ray Rice because he was transparent with their investigation. He told them exactly what he did. And they can't just change your ruling just because the tape came out. I get it. That's like if I'm hanging out with my buddies and I'm like, hey guys, guess what I did last night? I fucked this big fat girl I met at the club. And they're all like, oh shit, Dave, that's crazy. And then they see a tape of me doing it and they're like, we can't hang out with you anymore, guys. That's not what this crew is all about. I'll be like, well, I told y'all what I did. What's really fucked up is the tape was made before they were married. Isn't that weird? I don't know why she did that. I don't even know why he would do that. As a guy, would you want to live with a woman that you had once punched in the face with all your strength? That's some very bold color purple type shit. Silly, come out here and shave me. You know your fucking mind? I had to ask an older friend of mine just to get some perspective. This older black dude. Actually, the fairest person I've ever met. And I asked him, I just said, hey man, I said, did you see that Ray Rice video? And instantly he was like, David, that shit was disgusting. And then a moment later he goes, I wonder what she said to him. I don't think that matters. I think the idea is you're not supposed to punch her in the face. My wife says terrible shit to me. My wife once called me a pussy in front of dinner guests. I know, I started to get mad, but then I was like, fuck it, she's probably right. I am a pussy, I admit it. I'm soft and warm and persuasive like a real pussy. Right. And then I told her, I said, and if you don't take care of me properly, I might stink like your pussy. I always fight dirty at the Chappelle household. It's not a big deal. No. If you want to get to the bottom of a matter of the heart, what you're supposed to do is ask a woman. Now, actually, there's two women that I know. They're both college professors in this little area I live in. And I meet them twice a week at Starbucks for coffee. Talk about important shit. And I asked the girls who was in the coffee clutch, I said, yo, why y'all think that this woman stayed with Ray Rice after he punched her in the face with all his strength? And one of my girlfriends said, David, you need to wake the fuck up. She's staying for the money. Well, now, wait a minute, because my other girlfriend was like, I disagree. I think that she actually loves him. And I said, wait a minute, ladies, you know what? I think that you're both right. And what I was doing when I said that was preserving the possibility of a threesome with these bitches. I've been chipping away at this pussy one cup of coffee at a time for like 4 years. I was gonna throw all that hard work away with some Ray Rice shit. I don't care that much. I'm just being real. It's fucked up, man. It's a tough time for the blacks. I love you too. And then here comes the banana peel. I'm waiting on it in a second. You know, that's how it starts. I saw in the paper today that the guy that threw the banana at me got arrested again because he threw a banana at another motherfucker in the bar in Santa Fe. Look it up online after the show. He actually did that. And that guy was black too. I'm just saying. And you know what the guy said he did it at night? He said, I did it because Dave Chappelle is racist. So, nigga, that's not the best way to handle that if I am racist. What if Martin Luther King just went around throwing tuna casserole on white people? Would that work? Huh? I see your girl bubbling. She's drunk as hell, buddy. Listen, sir, I don't know what she's saying, but just take my advice. Get some water in her, or you're going to have some dry pussy when you get home. His dick's going to be shaped the fuck up tomorrow. Santa Maria. Who got a cigarette in here? Anyone got a cigarette in the bar? Yeah, you fella. Yeah, please. Well, let me see this. This is a Marlboro menthol. This could have been anybody. If it was a Newport, I'd be like a black dude threw that out. But a Marlboro menthol, that's one of them riddles. Is the word pussy offensive? All right, just checking. I asked that crowd when we was in Denver, I said, is the word pussy offensive? And the whole crowd said no, except for two people. One was a woman in the front. She's older than me, maybe around my age. Definitely a feminist. You know what I mean? Short haircut, plaid shirt, you know what I'm saying? And she didn't say it offended her. What she said is, she said, I'm uncomfortable with that word. And I was like, really? You? And then before I could ask her why, there was one other guy, he was in the balcony. Now, I don't think he was saying this to me, but he said this. Everybody heard him say it. He goes, it's delicious. I don't think I've ever heard pussy called delicious before in my life. Now, this is not to say that it's bad, but it's definitely an acquired taste. I don't think any of us tasted pussy our first time like, it needs something. You know, it's illegal for a gynecologist to say the word pussy. They can only say vagina, or they can name individual parts medically, but they can never say shorthand, even if the gynecologist is a woman. I feel like if it's a woman gynecologist, it's cool. Like, am I all right? She's like, girl, that pussy is. I don't think men should be allowed to be gynecologists. That shit is a conflict of interest. Even when my wife was pregnant, we used to go to the gynecologist. And he'd put her legs up in that stirrup like this. He'd be like, all right, Mr. Chappelle, just try to relax. I push, back up, motherfucker, I got this. Just tell me what to look for. One of those home-style checkups. There's too many ethical questions when men do that. Like, can a gynecologist lose their license for smelling their fingers during an exam? Is that illegal? How could they not? These are men. It's like if you have a good barbecue, you don't even think about it. You just... The word pussy is only offensive if you're older. People my age and younger, I don't think we dance to that shit. The song come on the radio, it's I beat the pussy up. That's on the radio. I beat the pussy up. That's a pretty harsh song. It's like nothing like a love song. There's no tracks, there's tears, no midnight trains to Georgia. This man simply beats the pussy up. Unbelievable. You don't even know if he's having sex with these women. They might just pull their pants down. He'd be like, "Bah! G-Unit." Like he'd be watching HBO. Hi, I'm Larry Merchant, standing here ringside with the pussy after a devastating bout with 50 Cent. Pussy, come over here and let me talk to you for a second. My God, you look terrible. Your lips seem to be swollen. You're bleeding a little bit. Tell me, pussy, what happened inside of that ring with 50? I don't know, Larry. I felt really good in the first round. I was ready to fight. It's warm and moist, and I don't know, just hit it from angles I wasn't expecting. Front, left, backside surprised me the most. Well, pussy, let's take a look at round 4. This is where it all went wrong for you. Here you come out of your corner, pussy. You're fighting really good. It looks like you got 50 with a right and a left, but then 50 slips your jab, and there, right there. You see that? He punches you right on that little bean thing you have on top of your head. I don't know what that is. But there's 50 just pounding away at that bean over and over. Now, pussy, tell me, what goes through a fighter's mind when their bean gets rattled around like that? I don't think I was thinking anything, Larry. You know, I'm a real good defensive fighter. It's real hard to get to me. I've never been punched directly on my bean before. As a matter of fact, most fighters don't even know that bean exists. I guess he just hit me, then I lost control of my legs. I don't know what else to tell you. I like when Lil Wayne talks about pussy. Lil Wayne used to have that song. He say, I got a bitch that plays movies in my jacuzzi. And then it goes like this. Pussy juicy. That shit always makes me laugh. Because no guy says that. Only Lil Wayne says some shit like that. If you was fucking a girl, she's like, is this pussy good? And I'm like, it's juicy. Pussy was juicy. That's why I'm not Lil Wayne. Because if I was in a hot tub with a girl and I could tell that the pussy was juicy while I was in the hot tub, I'd probably get out of the tub. I'm a germaphobe. I just picture Lil Wayne like, what is this strange oil floating in my hot tub water? It's pussy juice. That shit was so funny to me, I must have wrote like no less than 40 jokes with the punchline pussy juice. And all of them worked to some degree 100% of the time. I'll do one more just so you believe it, okay? All right, and this next piece, it's a special episode of CSI. For some reason, Lil Wayne is guest starring as the lead detective, okay? That's the setup. Are you ready? Here it goes. Has anyone else been on this crime scene? No. It's very strange. This place is virtually undisturbed. No forced entry. No sign of a struggle. Shine your flashlight right here. To stick at something. What is this? What is this? It glistens in the light. Smooth to the touch. This is pussy juice. She must have been sitting Indian style. Everybody's mad about something. Recently, I got attacked online by some gay bloggers, and it hurt my feelings. I have no problem with gay people, but I fucking hate bloggers. I'm not saying it because this person was gay. They was acting like a bitch online. They was like mischaracterizing my jokes, trying to make a point off of me. When it's like, yo, I'm your ally, motherfucker. I'm not trying to stop gay people. I got better shit to do. This motherfucker was saying things trying to get gay people to beat me up. Seriously, he was like, Dave Chappelle's jokes. I don't know how he actually talks when he's making his voice up. Dave Chappelle's jokes were an affront to the manhood of all gay men. What the fuck does that mean? I didn't say anything that would allude to gay men not being men. I know you men. In fact, what could be manlier than fucking another guy in the ass? It's the most gangster shit I've ever heard of in my life. I told you I'm not cut out for that. I'm a pussy. And you know what I said? That's all I said. First of all, I'll tell you right now what I said. And I will tell you that this was not a joke. It's a true story. And I just happened to tell it. All right, what happened was I went to a gallery party. All right? I don't know who in here has ever been rich before, but these are very nice parties. Wine and cheese and ball of conversation. And there was a few eccentric types, one of which was a very wealthy man that happened to be wearing a dress. I don't know what you call him, man. This is a tranny or a drag queen, perhaps. Whatever it was, this is definitely a man. And this man was definitely on drugs. I don't know what kind of drugs he's on, but I knew he had too much. He didn't look good. It's like this, he's like, he looked sick. And all his friends were standing around him, concerned, trying to revive him. I don't know what it looked like, some kind of gay CPR, just fanning and shit. I saw all this from a distance. Now, I should have minded my own business, but I got curious. I was like, And I went over there. All I said, excuse me, gentlemen, is he okay? And then they looked at me like I was evil. She is fine. I said, word? Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't know this is what we were doing. Here's my thing. I support anybody's right to be whoever they feel like they are inside. I'm your ally in that. However, my question is, to what degree do I have to participate in your self-image? Is it fair that I have to change my whole pronoun game up for this motherfucker? That doesn't make sense. Seriously. If I put on an Argyle sweater and I'm like, hey everybody, I feel like a white guy in the sweater and I want some goddamn respect and a bank loan. It's not gonna work. Give a fuck how I feel, why should I give a fuck how you feel? Nick.
All these movements, not to get deep, all these movements probably started, not even the 60s. All this shit started in 1945. That's when America just fucking lost its mind. It was after that Second World War. Think about it. Because black Americans went off and fought in the war. They went to Europe. They made more money than they ever made in America. They might even got their dick sucked by white women. And then they came back to the United States and they looked around and they said, you know what? I don't like the way I'm being treated around here. But it wasn't just black dudes. At the same time, all the women in America went into the workforce because all the men were gone. That's when you see that old poster in the 40s with that dyke like, we can do it. That's where that's from. And these women made money, and then the dudes came back home and started telling these women what to do, and they were like, yo, I'm not feeling you, nigga. At the same time, the CIA started experimenting with a drug in San Francisco. Back then, nobody knew about it, called LSD. By 1960, all the white kids in America were like, it works. And a new school of thought was unleashed on the American consciousness. People had never even thought like that before, and now they were thinking like that in mass. White kids in mass were like, fuck our parents' plans for us. By the time 1960 rolled around, the President of the United States was 42 years old. He was the next best hope. And they blew his brains out in Dallas, fucking parade. That's the most gangster shit. There were 8 major assassinations in the 60s. Kennedy, X, King, Everett. And then, by the 70s, the white youth culture and the Black Panthers and the black youth culture started to merge. And you started to see Timothy Leary meeting Eldridge Cleaver in Africa, not Oakland. And that was the beginning of the 70s, one of the most turbulent decades this nation has ever seen. And I say all that to say this, that in that turbulent historical context, Bill Cosby raped 34 people. Every time I turned on the TV, I saw another old woman describing one of these antique rapes. These rapes were old school. They'd be like, and then Bill Cosby pulled my bloomers down. Bloomers? I saw him peering through me through a large cloud of vagina hair. Vagina hair? I've seen that in years. I saw that shit. I said, these people are obviously trying to destroy Dr. Cosby's rich legacy. Right? 34 allegations later, I was still like, man, they probably only raped 13 or 14 of those. Do all that raping. It's like 50 fucking rapes. And don't forget, each one of these rapes have 8 hours of sleep in them.
It's like 1,000 hours of rape. Packed into an otherwise busy schedule. Short corporate rapes, that's what I support. Why would they sleep? That's what I don't understand. Why Bill Cosby making all these girls sleep? Like, look, man, I'm not even as famous as Bill Cosby was, but I know 20 girls I could call right now and be like, yo, come on to my place for a drink, and I'm gonna put something in it, and you're gonna fall asleep, and I'm gonna fuck you while you're sleeping. And they'd be like, cool, nigga, cool. What time you want me to come over? Is that a train here, that train? Trains do something to black people. Didn't you feel like running for that train? I've never been in a situation where I needed something about being black, nigga. You just, when you hear a train, we'll say like, I've gotta go. Just wanna run away. No, man, for real, it's not comfortable like it used to be. I don't know how transgender people beat black people in the discrimination Olympics. If the cops shot this many trannies, you'd be like, it's a goddamn conspiracy.
Right.
The niggas gonna stop wearing high heels just to feel safe. Problem, officer? Was my bag and purse all matched? Is there a problem? There's too many, man. It's too many. There was one good one in California where the lady got beat up in traffic. You see that shit on YouTube?
Yeah.
And they beat the shit out of her. You watch the tape and be like, well, what did she do? Turns out she didn't even do anything. But the good news is the city of LA decided that the court should award her $1.5 million for pain and suffering. Which, if you know anything about money, is as much Marcos Maidana made to fight Floyd Mayweather the second time. It's pretty good considering this woman never trained a day in her life. You can see it in the tape. She didn't come to fight. She took too many shots. She covered her gut, punched her face. She just wasn't doing it right. What? You know what's funny about being in San Francisco? First of all, the city's not even gay anymore. Gay people can't afford to live there. They just visit. Gay people got their money tied up in other shenanigans. Where you from, bro? Where? Canada? Well, all right, you can get off the watch list. You know, America has a racial hot seat, which belongs to black Americans, but I know you sat in it for a while. I can honestly say Arabs and Mexicans sat in that seat. And we, the black Americans, would like to thank you both for your sacrifice and your struggle. Everybody goes through something, but at least I can leave my backpack someplace. If you leave your backpack, you got 20 minutes to find that shit before they send a robot to blow your luggage up. Don't you remember San Francisco when that motherfucking tiger jumped out of the cage and bit those people up? And San Francisco is so gay, the whole city blamed the tiger. No, they blamed the victims. They didn't even say shit about the tiger. They said these people were teasing that tiger. That's irrelevant. Tigers should not be able to jump out of the cage and kill people at the zoo. They said that tiger chased one of his victims 400 yards. Listen, you know how fucking fast you have to run to outrun a tiger for 400 yards? They probably woke up in the hospital with an NFL recruiter standing over his bed. You did good, son. You did very good. I know this isn't a good time, but I'm with the Cincinnati Bengals. Complete coincidence? I think we can tie something in and do something really big with you. One of the guys the tiger bit was Mexican and the other two were Arabs. I said, who trained this tiger? Homeland Security, like everybody? I gave that tiger some beans. You smell those beans? You can smell that. Go get them. Here's some curry. I see a lot of Indians in San Francisco. I always wanted to be in a Bollywood movie. Because Bollywood movies are deep, but at the end of the movie, no matter what kind of movie it is, there's always a dance number to make you feel better when you go home. Even if it's Precious. At the end of the movie, Precious would just jump out of the coffin. I don't have AIDS. You ever see Precious? Boy, that was a sad movie. Yeah, that was tough. If you haven't seen it, you know all the statistics of living in urban life in America. But if you could picture all those statistics happening to one person for 90 minutes, that was Precious. Life through the book of that fat bitch. And the music haunted me. Because the music was like, you know, like, I don't know, break beats or something. If they had Eddie Vedder do the score for Precious, I'd have killed myself in the movie theater. They had some of that, like, Smashing Pumpkins. Precious was morbidly obese. She couldn't read good. She was a victim of incest, and the baby had Down syndrome. Still the first verse, nigga. You gotta see the movie. She caught AIDS at the end. She might have had it the whole movie, but at the end she got it. That's one way to lose weight, you know. This fucking movie, Precious is a fictitious character. I'm sorry. It's a fucked up movie. It was a fucked up movie. I got scared when I went to see Straight Outta Compton. And Eazy-E caught AIDS at the end. That shit freaked me out. Because I didn't know you could get AIDS from firing your manager. You didn't see Straight Outta Compton? Eazy-E caught AIDS in the last 10 minutes of the movie. He just started, you good, nigga? You all right? Yeah, I'm good. Who catches AIDS like that? AIDS does not sound like that. It's a racking cough. And AIDS weird that a disease came out of nowhere in the 80s that doesn't kill anybody but niggas, fags, and junkies? What kind of disease hates everybody that old white people hate? I think the government hid that shit in disco balls. Only fun people get AIDS. You never see that guy? I think I'm gonna stay home and read a book. That nigga never say, I think I'm gonna stay home and cook for myself. You all right? Remember when Donald Sterling made that tape? Said all those bad things about black people? That tape was fucked up. But that goes to show everybody, if you get old and white and racist in America, whatever you do, don't tell your black girlfriend about that shit, because that's who made the tape. She taped everything. The tape was embarrassing. He was like, stop bringing these black guys to my gangs. We were all listening like, well, how you gonna have a gang without us? There's gonna be a lot of bounce passes and layups in that shit. And then it turned out the black guy he was speaking of was none other than Magic Johnson, NBA legend and billionaire. Unfucking believable. Didn't even mention the fact that he had AIDS, which is the first thing I would say to my girlfriend. This guy must be very racist if AIDS is the footnote. How many of y'all work for Google? Nobody? Thanks, Fuse. That air horn always pushes the joke through. You ever do something regular, but if you do it with the air horn, it sounds better. Like once I pulled my dick out at a New Year's Eve party. Real traumatic experience. I'd been drinking. It's really fucked up. I had to make all new friends. I did it on the 10 count. Them motherfuckers were like, 6, 5. And I was saying to myself, what if I pull my dick out? They said 3. And then I looked down and said, oh no, it's out! That air horn pushed me over the top. I pulled that shit out. I was like, oh! Man, when that nigga pulled his dick out, that really set the party off. I can't read what's on the teleprompter. Some about black America and white America. There's black Americans and there's white Americans. We're all one America. So if you don't mind, this is not live, is it? I imagine whatever I say, you could just edit it out. Let's try it a few ways. Lou, are you in the booth?
I am.
All right, good. You know what, Lou? Let's just play around with it and see if we can get it right, get this clip package on, and then let me go home. All right?
You got it.
All right.
Ready?
All right. Count me in.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wu-Tang. I'm just with you, Lou. Let's do it again. We're gonna do it again. We'll get it right.
Here we go, Dave. 5, 4, 3, 2.
You know, when I was a comedian starting out in Washington, D.C., right here in this city, 1988, I'll never forget this. It was a comedy club owner that banned profanity from his comedy club. He said it offended his audience, and this was a cause of major concern for all the comedians in the circuit. And we all called a meeting, and we had the owners come, and it was the club owners, and it was the comedians. It was the classic labor dispute. The club owners laid out their case. There cannot be profanity in these clubs because that offends people. And there's a comedian who's still a good friend of mine to this day. He lives right here in Washington, D.C. He stood up and he said, he's black, I should tell you, because it's important to the story. He says, I use profanity because I live a profane lifestyle. He says, I don't have an insect infestation in my house. I have roaches. My favorite comedians are like musicians, and the audience is their instrument. And the music they make is your laughter. And that's the laughter that I scored my entire life to. So now, some of my favorite American comedic composers. Thank you.
When I lose my job, I lose my man. Treats me like a dog. He called me a dog. Yes, he did. What did he call me? An old dog. Sometimes I wished I was a dog and he was a tree.
When you stop and think, football's a fair sport for my people. Only sport in the world a Negro can chase a white man and 40,000 people stand up and cheer him.
See, in my neighborhood, the kids have a kind of a dubious reaction to that whole Santa Claus concept. They just don't believe that a white man will ride a reindeer through Harlem after midnight.
In truth, white friend, it's you that all look alike. But look at the black people around you. We all different colors. Black walnut, burnt elk, almond,
chocolate mocha, pecan, vanilla, yellow, mellow, light, bright, and damn near white.
We come from the first people on the earth. You know, the first people on the earth were black people. We the first people had thought, right? We was the first one to say,
Where am I? And how do you get to Detroit?
I think maybe like 30 years ago, there was a woman that wanted to sing, and a black lady that sang opera that wanted to sing. What was her name? Mary Anderson. And this place was like segregated, and they couldn't sing here. And here we are, like not even 50 years later, a 22-year-old black man on stage getting paid to hold his. God bless America. I gotta go now. Y'all take it easy. Bye-bye.
Janelle Monáe, Will Smith, Common, Gladys Knight, and John Legend when we continue.
Yeah, man. Well, you ladies are right. To be honest with you, your lives look terrifying to me. They do, man. I know nothing about being a woman, but I know fear. Yo, I used to live in New York when I was 17, and I couldn't even pay my bills. You know what I did to make money? I used to do shows for drug dealers that wanted to clean their money up. One time I did a real good set, and these motherfuckers called me in the back room. They gave me $25,000 in cash. It's probably 18, 19 years old. I'm scared. I thanked them profusely. I put that money in my backpack. I jumped on the subway and started heading towards Brooklyn at 1 o'clock in the morning. Never been that terrified in my life. Because I never in my life had something that somebody else would want. I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, if motherfuckers knew how much money I had in this backpack, they'd kill me for it. Then I thought, holy shit. What if I had a pussy on me all the time? That's what women are dealing with. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's real talk. If them same drug dealers gave me a pussy and said, put this in your backpack and take it to Brooklyn, I'd be like, nigga, I can't accept this. I empathize, man, you know. Everybody gets mad because I say these jokes. But you understand that this is the best time to say them. More now than ever. And I know there's some comedians in the back. Motherfucker, you have a responsibility to speak recklessly. Otherwise. New York Times said that Louis C.K. jizzed on his own stomach. You know, I've busted a lot of nuts in my day. None of them were newsworthy. Shit was really gross, because they didn't just say it like I said it. They didn't just say jizz on the stomach. They said it in that fucking Pulitzer Prize winning style that the New York Times has. It was very descriptive, like, you know what I mean? Louis C.K.'s semen shot out like a volcano of misogyny, slowly drizzling down like lava, covering his freckled penis as it slowly dripped to a fiery crown of red hair. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to eat some huevos rancheros and these niggas is... And you know, the tough part, being a comedian, knowing the motherfuckers, everybody comes up to me like, did you know? Did you know what Louis was doing? No, bitch, I did not know. The fuck you think we talk about at the comedy club? Hey, nigga, how was the weekend? Great, man. I was just jerking off in faces and coming on my own stomach, having a good time. You know how this business is. No, I didn't know. They act like we sit around like Grease. Tell me more, tell me more. Then she put up a fight. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I don't know the choreography, but you get the point. You get the point. She was intense. But Louis was like the turning point. I mean, you know,
all these allegations are terrible. Louis was the only, I shouldn't say this, but fuck it. His allegation was the only one that made me like laugh. If you think about it, because all his friends is reading it and he's jerking off and he's surprising people. He's surprising me. I just picture all the comics and comedy just reading it like, what? It's terrible. I know it's terrible. I'm sorry, ladies. You're right. You are right. But at the same time, I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. Jesus Christ, they took everything from Louis. I was like, I don't know, it might be disproportionate. I can't tell. I can't tell. This is like where it's hard to be a man. One lady said, Louis C.K. masturbating in front of me ruined my comedy dreams. Word? Well, then I dare say, madam, you may have never had a dream. Come on, man, that's a brittle spirit. That is a brittle-ass spirit, nigga. That shit is too much. This is a grown-ass woman. You know what this shit is like? It's like COINTELPRO. You know what that is? It's a program that the FBI had under J. Edgar Hoover. In this program, one of the many things they did was they would track the sexual habits of anyone they considered an enemy of the state. It was a lip button. That's why they got all these fucking sex tapes with Martin Luther King fucking bitches. But lucky for us, he actually had a dream. You think if Louis C.K. jerked off in front of Dr. King, he'd be like, I can't continue this movement. I'm sorry, but the freedom of black people must be stopped. I didn't know this nigga was gonna pull his dick out and jerk off like this. I just thought we were gonna get a couple of drinks and chill. Show business is just harder than that. Them women sounding like, I hate to say it, y'all, they sound weak. I know it sounds fucked up, I'm not supposed to say that, but one of these ladies was like, Louis C.K. was masturbating while I was on the phone with him. Bitch, you don't know how to hang up a phone? How the fuck are you going to survive in show business if this is an actual obstacle to your dreams? I know Louis is wrong, ma'am. I'm just saying I'm held to a higher standard of accountability than these women are. Don't forget who I am. Don't forget what I am. I am a black dude.